Preparation phase was, I won't say it was easy. Obviously, we have so many classes, but the real struggle starts when you start giving mocks.
Yes.
Your educators, you guys tell us that don't look at the scores, but it doesn't happen like that. When you see a bad score, when you see a 70 percentile, that thought crosses your mind. इतना कम आ रहा है, कैसे आएगा? मतलब मेरे से हो भी पाएगा या नहीं? When I took a drop after 12th, everybody was preparing for JEE, but that didn't work out. And now nobody was preparing, but it still worked out. Of course, every day is difficult, so that does happen. But again, you have to trust the process. You have to trust your educator. Eventually, my scores did improve, but
Hi everyone, welcome to yet another session of CTwT, that's Chamomile Tea with Toppers, an initiative by Unacademy. I'm Shabana Shahab. I'm a VARC expert on the platform. VARC stands for Verbal Ability and Reading Comprehension. And besides training for CAT and ZAT, that are our management exams, I also give training for communication skills and GDPI, that is personal interviews and group discussions. Today we have got over here one of the toppers. CAT results were out just a few days back and we have got a topper over here, an enchanting, petite, amazing looking pretty girl. She's here with us and her name is Nikki. Nikki, on behalf of everyone, I welcome you over here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Would you like to tell us something about yourself, Nikki?
So I am Nikki Singh. Hi everybody. I am from Ranchi, Jharkhand. I have done my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Jhansi, and currently I'm in the final year of graduation. I'm pursuing BSc Maths Honours from St. Columbus College.
Okay, so you are from Ranchi.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your CAT score like? Because I'm sure by now everybody is eager to hear your CAT and ZAT scores, please.
So in the CAT 23 examination, I scored 99.74, and in ZAT I scored 93 percentile.
CAT में 99.74.
Yes.
वो 0.3 किसके लिए छोड़ा आपने? वो भी कर ही लेती complete.
99.74 is also more than what I expected, and basically I was aiming for somewhere around 95, even if I managed to touch 95, or max to max 99.5. And I think everything went well on the D-Day, and no, not like that. Later on I got to know that the score versus percentile is different this year, and the percentile has increased for low scores. So I managed to get 99.7.
Okay, so 99.7 it was in CAT.
Yes.
And in ZAT you said it was 93.
Yes, ma'am.
So how come you didn't take ZAT also to 97 or 99 or 100?
I couldn't prepare that well for ZAT because of college exams.
Okay, but I'm sure even in your home, like people must be mighty proud of you for these two achievements, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you also attempt NMAT and SNAP?
No.
You did not. So you had your sights set on CAT and ZAT.
Yes, sir.
Okay, why only these two exams?
I think SNAP is it's a lot about speed, and I am not very good at that. I can do difficult questions, but to do one question per minute is something I find very difficult. So that is why I didn't go for that. And even for NMAT, I was not very sure. I didn't know much about the exam, and it's also a lot of forms and too much investment. So I just thought I'll go with CAT and ZAT. And from CAT only you can fill so many forms apart from IIMs, MDI, SPJ.
Yeah, CAT
FMS.
itself gives you a score good enough.
Yes.
But just now you mentioned that SNAP is a lot about speed, and you're not comfortable about doing one question every minute.
Yeah.
But don't you think CAT is also a race against time? I mean, doing 66 questions in 120 minutes, it works out to less than 2 minutes per question.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't you have that pressure even in CAT?
Ma'am, but in CAT, it's okay if you don't attempt all of the paper. Yeah, you can, I think out of 198, I got a raw score 91. Sorry, it was the scale score. My raw score was 88, and I managed to get 99 percentile, and 88 is less than 50%. So in CAT, it is about speed. Of course, it's about speed, but it's not like a snap that you have to do one question every minute.
So you are comfortable with CAT because it's also about question selection.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? You don't have to do 100% of the
Yeah,
paper. Even 50 to 60% is good enough. Right. And she just now mentioned something about her score getting scaled. In case you're wondering what that is, well, hers was morning slot. In CAT, we have 3 slots: morning, afternoon, and evening. So if a particular slot is a little difficult, the authorities scale down or scale up. So in case it's difficult, the scores are kind of, taken up. So hers was slot 1 and her score actually was 89, you said. 88. And when it got scaled up, she got 91.
Yes.
So that must have actually helped you quite a lot,
Yeah.
right? So when you saw your score, how did you feel? What was your first reaction when you saw 99.7?
So actually, before the results, everybody was predicting that slot 1 will be scaled down and slot 3 will be scaled up.
Yes.
So I was expecting, I was happy with my accuracy after I got to know about the scorecard. I saw it. So, but still, I didn't know that I'll get such a good percentile, because last year the cutoffs were, the score versus percentile was different. So when the result came out, it was really unexpected. My brother and I were praying for 99.5 plus, and I got 99.7. We were praying for 99.5. That was our maximum.
Yeah, that was what you had prayed for actually.
Yeah,
that was what
that
you
was
wanted,
our
yes.
maximum. Itna to aa jaye.
Okay, and when you saw 99.7,
0.7,
what was your reaction?
I was extremely happy. I really thought इससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं मांग सकती थी मैं. For the hard work that I've done, इतना तो बहुत है.
So who was the first person that you informed after seeing the score?
My little brother.
He was there with you,
Yeah.
right? He was there with you checking the score.
No, he was out, and I called him inside in my room and I showed him my scorecard.
Okay, all right. So how old is he?
Yeah, he is 19 years old.
19. So after seeing your success, did he get inspired to kind of appear for CAT, or he has set his sights on some other things?
No, he's a sports person. He's not much into academics, so no. But he was really happy, and actually he had seen my hard work, and he was really hoping that I do well in the exam.
Okay. Now, if we talk about this phenomenal score, 99.7 or even 93 in ZAT,
Yes.
have you always been good in academics, or it has been kind of up and down for you?
In my school life, I was good in academics. I have great scores in 10th and 12th, but in my graduation, not so much. Also, after 12th, I took a drop and I prepared for JEE, couldn't clear it. So my self-confidence was also not very high.
Oh, you were preparing for JEE?
Yeah.
So while you were preparing for JEE, what happened that you kind of decided to move to CAT?
JEE, I didn't choose it because I wanted to do engineering. It was more like everybody is doing
a peer
JEE,
pressure kind of thing. Okay, sab kar rahe
everybody
hain,
is
so
taking
okay.
a drop, so even I'll take a drop.
So you took a year drop
Yeah.
and you started preparing for
For
JEE.
JEE.
Okay, then you took the exam.
Yeah, I took the exam and I did get 93 percentile in JEE mains, which is not enough for general category.
Okay.
And then competitive exams, and it's like a loop. You get stuck and you keep repeating and you keep attempting and you keep failing. So I was stuck there, and although I realized that I don't want to do it, but still I was in that loop. And then I only got out of it when my attempts got over. And then even in my graduation, my scores were not great. I was working hard, but I think it was because of the low self-confidence. And then I came across the exam, the CAT exam, and I read about it, I researched, and...
So was 2023 your first attempt at CAT?
Yes, ma'am.
First ever?
Yes, ma'am.
And without any prior experience, you managed to crack this?
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I didn't even know how many questions are there, what sections are there. So I started researching and I got to know, and I read about the exam, I read about MBA, and it piqued my interest. So then I came across Shweta Arora's channel.
Okay.
And there was a video about some feedback form about different coachings. So I had decided that I will join a coaching, because to prepare on my own, I don't think I could do it. So I saw that feedback form, and there were great reviews for Unacademy, and I joined Unacademy. And also I came across Ravi sir's channel from his YouTube channel Rodha. But while joining Unacademy, the call center guy, he asked me, which faculty would you, which educator will you follow for VARC? I said, I don't know any educator, and he recommended your name. He
Seriously?
said, yes, ma'am.
Oh, wherever you are, thank you so much for that, because you gave me Nikki as a student.
So he said, you can go with Shabana ma'am, she's a top teacher. And I thought, okay, I'll try. Also, I read somewhere, or I think I heard somewhere, that we keep trying to find the best resources, the best coaching, the best environment, but we don't do our best.
Very true.
Yeah, so and I heard about how students keep changing teachers.
Yes.
And not because teachers are not, sometimes okay, maybe you don't like the educator, but a lot of times it's because you're not putting the hard work, and you're not doing what they're asking you to do, and they keep switching. So initially only I had decided that I won't switch. I will stick, if I understand what they're teaching, I will stick to the teacher. And I attended your
So
first
you
class.
attended my class, and then you realized that, okay, she talks a little bit of sense, so chalo theek hai, inki class attend kar lete hain, right? So what was your first day experience in my class, if I may ask?
It was not great. I mean,
Tell
you
us.
taught really well, but I think you were angry about something. People were commenting and not listening in the chat box. So I think, scolded in a very light-hearted way, but because I was new and I was really apprehensive, I thought, oh, she's a strict teacher. But still, I thought, let me give it a try. I'll study for a week, and then the next day you're singing old Hindi film songs.
Oh my God, did you have to actually say it here on the camera? Okay, all right.
And one thing I really like about your session is the first 10 minutes, the FTM we do. So I really, I think in the first week itself, I discovered that it's going to be fun.
Okay, so you felt at home.
Yes.
In my class when it came to VARC. Thank God for that. And I remember vividly, of course, Nikki, because it's a different name. I mean, generally people are Nikita.
Yes.
Okay. So Nikki, I remember very clearly you had joined the class, and like, okay, maybe in the first 1 or 2 sessions, I may not have called out your name. But then as you have seen in my classes, I try to give attention to people, and I keep calling out names. So I remember I used to call out Nikki very often.
Yes.
What did you do for DILR and QA? Because with just one section, obviously you can't make it to the top.
So for DILR and QA, I followed Ravi sir.
Okay.
And I'll say I didn't think much on my own. For VARC, I followed you. I did what you said. And for QA and DILR, I followed Ravi sir.
Okay.
He used to focus a lot on good quality questions and practice.
Yes.
And initially, when you start with DILR, we are supposed to do 2 sets under 40 minutes to get 99 percentile.
Right.
But initially, when you start solving, 1 set will take 2 hours.
Correct.
And also the sets are very long, it's confusing.
Tedious,
It's a new subject. The logical reasoning in other exams and the logical reasoning in CAT is very different. The sets are really different. But I remember from the start itself, I enjoyed DILR. I liked solving sets, I like solving puzzles, Sudoku, Cube. So I really enjoyed studying DILR. And
same was for QA, like you followed him, so you were quite comfortable.
Yes, ma'am.
You could understand what the educator taught.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you know what you said in the beginning, that yes, if you are able to understand what the educator speaks, you should not change very often.
Yes.
I'm giving this as a piece of yarn to all of you out there. We generally tend not to introspect. You know, we may be doing something wrong, but we just kind of have that escapist attitude and we pass the buck. We think, okay, inki class chhod ke chalo, ab dusri jagah chalo, ab wahan nahi hua, chalo dusri jagah chalo. So eventually what happens is we just keep changing camps. Instead, I feel we should do what she did. like, okay, you stick to a particular thing and you do everything that the educator is guiding you for. Because Nikki, I remember one thing about you very clearly. I'll say this to the audience over here. She is an educator's delight. Why? Because you used to follow the guidance, the bits and scraps, right down to the T. I mean, you were not like always very outspoken in the class. You were there and I could see you, but then, you know, you were like always attentive. And whatever chota gyan, bada gyan, medium gyan, seeing wala gyan, pankh wala gyan, everything you used to take in your stride and move on. So that is one thing that actually works for students. So that was good. Okay, so DILR, QA and VARC, you were like comfortable right from the beginning and you moved on. What did you do about the mocks?
So preparation phase was, I won't say it was easy. Obviously, we have so many classes, but the real struggle starts when you start giving mocks.
Yes.
Your educators, you know, you guys tell us that don't look at the scores, but it doesn't happen like that. When you see a bad score, when you see a 70 percentile, that thought crosses your mind. इतना कम आ रहा है, कैसे आएगा? मतलब मेरे से हो भी पाएगा या नहीं? So that does happen, but again you have to trust the process, you have to trust your educator. So you kept saying, and even Ravi sir kept saying, that just give mocks and analyze, your scores will improve.
Yeah.
And eventually my scores did improve, but in my first mock, I got 96 percentile.
Okay. And then it went down.
Yeah. And in my second mock, I got 70 percentile.
Okay.
In my first mock, I was so happy कि बस 3-4 percentile cover करना है. And फिर 30-40 हो गया. So.
But okay, there's an important question here. When you started taking mocks, did you actually understand the importance of mocks, the purpose of mocks? Because I'll tell you here, students generally think that mocks means they'll be able to increase their score. But how does it work? How does that mechanism work? That mock wala thing. It's not some magic, right? That okay, you got 96 in the first mock and then you felt that okay, only 4 marks have to be covered. I mean, it's about practice.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what a mock is. It gives you sustained practice. So if you are not going to keep that wheel turning, and if you're not going to kind of keep improving and analyzing, okay, in the previous one this happened. So are you getting my point?
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
this is about practice. It's about sustainability, and it's like, you know, the mocks give you practice and it kind of takes out the fear factor from you.
Yeah.
That is how mocks work.
Yes,
and that is when they start giving you scores. So when did you realize it?
So initially, I think everybody suggested us to start giving mocks from July, and I was very skeptical, and not skeptical, but I was hesitating because I thought I'm not prepared well, and a lot of students were thinking like me कि अभी तो syllabus हुआ ही नहीं है, and you know, with quants syllabus you can never cover it.
Yes.
I think after giving CAT अभी भी मैं नहीं बोल सकती कि मुझे quants
सब कुछ
आता है.
complete कर लिया था. हाँ.
नहीं होता है. So I was hesitating, but then I trust the process and I started giving mocks, and as you said very correctly, you said that analyzing is very important. You can't just give mocks and then forget about it.
Yes.
Yeah, so because when I was careless and I didn't analyze, I saw that in the next mock my scores dropped. And if I analyze and I give time, it's not very easy. You have to invest time, and it's very draining. You give mock for 2 hours and then you analyze for 3 hours.
Exactly. So you know, that's a draining point, that okay, जितना time mock पे नहीं दिया उससे ज़्यादा तो analysis, and that is why students get demotivated and they dump it कि चलो चलो next वाले पे चलो.
So no matter how much you hate it, you have to analyze, and that is what I did. And mocks also prepare you for unpredictable situations.
Correct.
You know, I can be great at RC, but in some mock maybe RC is very difficult and VA is easy. So I get to know the importance of VA and how I can question selection. It does teach you question selection and time management, stress management. I think just because I had given so many mocks, I was comfortable with that, sitting for 2 hours and being on my toes and being ready for 40 minutes में section switch होने वाले हैं. I have to be alert and I have to be fast. that cannot come without practice.
So when did you study? I mean, you're a morning person or a night owl?
I am a night owl.
Seriously?
Yes, ma'am.
So you did your college in the morning,
Yes.
but you don't have that regular college
Yeah.
thing, right? Okay. So what was your like typical schedule?
So on college days, I couldn't study much, so I would just try to watch classes because backlog हो जाता है फिर बहुत मुश्किल होता है. And on days in which the college is not there, on holidays, I would invest good amount of time, 6 hours, 8 hours.
So you would start when?
Soon, just after I wake up.
Okay.
I'll study for 1 hour and then I'll have something, because if I don't study just after waking up, I'll have something and then I'll rest and then I'll roam around.
And then you roam around and then you end up wasting time. Then you see the clock. Oh my God, it's already 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, right?
And then I don't want to study because half the day is gone.
Done, yeah. अब चलो lunch खा ही लेते हैं, उसके बाद फिर पढ़ेंगे, right?
So I think just after I wake up, if I study for 1 hour, that is a really good start for the day, and that sets the pace कि इतना हो गया है, अब और करना है.
It sets the pace, and then like I think your maximum concentration was in the evening hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evening hour, night hours. Sometimes I would also wake up till 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, still 6 in the morning you would be awake. Okay.
For me, waking up at night is very easy, but getting up early in the morning
That's
is
a Herculean task. Okay, all right.
Very difficult. And I had slot 1.
You had slot 1, right?
I was praying कुछ भी आ जाए, slot 1 नहीं आया बस. But then slot 1 ही आया.
So when you got your slot 1, I'm sure you started taking mocks in that particular slot.
Yes, ma'am.
You did, right?
We got the admit card, I think, on 7th of November, 21 days before CAT, I think. And that day itself, I started sleeping and I tried to wake up early. Of
so
course,
it was 8:30 to 10:30. That
Yeah.
was your slot, the morning slot. So you used to take mocks regularly in that slot.
Yeah. I took 5 to 6 mocks in that slot because only 21 days are left.
So yes, I mean I can understand your point here, because you said it's like, you know, you are a night person, more of a night person. So if you had not given yourself that practice, that sustained practice of 21 days, do you feel your brain would not have been so alert?
Of course.
I mean, I'm just trying to highlight the importance of taking mocks in your slot.
Yes, ma'am. It is very important. If on the D-Day, it was my first time giving an exam in that slot, I would have goofed up. I have a feeling that because when I gave my first mock in the morning slot, I was not very comfortable.
Correct.
I was very irritated. I couldn't focus, and
that lack of focus is there. I can understand. Okay.
So, but I think giving 5 mocks helped, and after that, I just told myself. साइक किया मैंने कि हो जाएगा, अभी हो गया है तुम्हारा प्रिपरेशन मॉर्निंग में देने का. झूठ बोला खुद से कि बहुत प्रैक्टिस हो गया है, अभी मॉर्निंग में दे सकते हैं.
Then your brain also realizes that, you know, it has to kind of wake up and you are pushing
You have
it.
to believe it, I think.
Yes, you have to believe it, definitely. This was like, okay, great. I mean, you kept practicing and you said, okay, so was there a group that you practiced with? I mean, there were other learners also, or you did it on your own?
Of course, there are other people.
No, I don't mean the online group. I mean like in your study circle.
No. Nobody. Not many. I didn't even tell a lot of people that I'm preparing for CAT. I don't like that pressure.
Okay.
When everybody keeps asking, कैसा जा रहा है तुम्हारा, कैसा चल रहा है? I like being the underdog. When nobody knows about it, that gives me the motivation to work hard. कि चलो किसी को पता नहीं है, अभी मैं बहुत मेहनत करूँगी.
Okay.
So that was, and I think in my building or around me, nobody was preparing for CAT. It's not like I don't like group studies.
Maybe there were other underdogs who kept it under wraps, you know.
Yes.
They didn't let you know that, okay, we are preparing for CAT. You never know. So is it easy to stay self-motivated? Was it easy for you?
It's not easy. I think when you have somebody who's preparing with you, it's much easier.
Yeah.
Because when I took a drop after 12th, everybody was preparing for JEE, but that didn't work out. And now nobody was preparing, but it still worked out. Of course, every day is difficult. And I remember we used to crib a lot in your class. मैं motivated नहीं feel हो रहा है, मैम थोड़ा motivate कर दो. and you would say रोज तुम लोगों को motivation
ही चाहिए तुम लोगों को रोज seriously.
It is and there are a lot of noises, Bhavish.
I still remember one day very clearly, like you had said you had come to the class very low on motivation, something, and then I had given some kind of pearls of wisdom or something. और हाँ, फिर motivation के लिए other times, like just to kind of keep you entertained, वही वो मेरा गाना and all, that would be there. But
attending classes was not difficult. It's fun. It's actually fun. Now I miss attending classes. Of course, I'm preparing for interviews, but that has become a part of my routine. And on days when there is no live class or there is no class, I feel like ये कैसा दिन है, कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है इसमें तो.
But you also had this comfort of not attending regular college, right? Because there were students, poor things, who used to attend college in the morning. Or there were working professionals who were working and then studying along with that. So you had this luxury. So you could study in the morning, you could study in the afternoon or whenever you wanted, right? How important is diet while you are preparing? Like, did you do anything about it or not?
In the preparation phase, in most of my journey, no. But I think in the last 2 months, the exam really demands a lot of attention and focus and time. You need to invest time, and if that is the time that you have to cut everything. And of course, I can't cut my sleep. I need my sleep to study for the rest of the day. So I did pay attention to my diet in the last 2 to 3 months. As everybody advised, eat light.
Because if we eat light, the brain stays a little active, right? I mean, compared to if we eat a lot of sugar or, our favorite biryani and chola bhatura, after that, the brain says, chalo, seedha bed pe chalo, kind of, it forces us. So I have noticed that. It keeps me a little active, so
in the last 2 to 3 months, you have to sacrifice a bit. It's not like you have to go on a keto diet. Just eat little light and eat on time, and also you have to focus on your health. You can't, someone my age can't skip meals. If I skip one meal, I'll faint. So I paid attention to my health, and I just didn't overindulge.
Now let's talk a little about the exam day strategy, because I believe in VARC you took 15 questions. I mean, you followed that strategy that keep the number of attempts low and focus more on accuracy, right? So you attempted 15 and you got 14 correct. How did this work out for you? Please enlighten us.
So it was not like I prepared like this. I was one of those who could not maintain their accuracy. So I, no matter what I do, I would get 3 to 4 questions wrong. So I increased my attempt rate in, small class tests that you take, and even in mocks, I did that. But as you say, CAT exam is all about improvisation, and that is what we practice through mocks.
Be flexible on that day.
And how to improvise and how to strategize in different situations.
Right.
So of course you don't get time to think. Already there's only 40 minutes. You can't sit and think, abhi kya karungi main. It has to come, it needs to be a reflex action. You must know what you have to do. So in the CAT examination, I was a bit drained, and I was a bit tired because I couldn't get sleep last night. So I was slow naturally, and my speed was not that much. So I understood that I have to maintain my accuracy. Also, the last 2 options, I felt that they're very close. So I went back and verified, and I really paid attention to every question. I made sure that I don't just mark and go ahead. I make sure that I'm marking the right question. And that doesn't mean I took 5 minutes for one question. That only means that instead of 1 minute 30 seconds, I took 2 minutes or 2 minute 30 seconds. Just increase that time by 30 seconds or 45 seconds. And I made sure that I pay attention and really verify and check and apply all the techniques. So that is what I did for VARC. And then for DILR, I think I followed the strategy that I followed in my mocks. First 2 minutes I analyzed, I saw all the sets. That is one mistake I heard a lot of people made. They saw the first set and they started solving.
Started doing, right.
And it looked easy, but it was not easy.
Correct. And then they wasted time,
Yeah.
and then they went on to the next one. And by that time, they had lost a lot of time.
Yes. And in DILR, you panic a lot because you need, it's not like VARC or QA that I only need 2 minutes or 3 minutes and then I can solve one question. We have to solve the whole set.
Correct.
And
crack the code and then come down to the questions.
So if you end up wasting 20 minutes, the chances of you solving 2 sets drops.
Right.
Even the chance of you solving 1 set drops because now you're panicked and you can't think. And in DILR, we need a clear mind, we need confidence. You know, we need that feeling that I can solve this set, I just have to pay attention.
So how many sets did you solve in DILR?
First set, I picked my, I analyzed the paper and I picked my set. And first set, I solved under 15 minutes.
Okay.
After 2 minutes of analyzing. So I was left with around 22 minutes or 23 minutes for the second set. And I started solving. And in that set, out of 5 questions, I solved 3 questions. And then in the last 2 questions, I got a bit confused. Also, I got panicked because of the timer. And I changed my answer last minute.
Oh.
And the answer that I had typed earlier was the correct one. So,
okay.
1 out of them was theta, and in one I got negative marking.
Okay.
So it was not my best performance, but I think 8 questions was still enough to get a good percentile.
Okay.
Because a lot of people couldn't even solve 1 set.
Yes, I heard that from some of my students. And then what happened in QA? How did things work out for you?
QA, again, in QA, I heard this time QA was the section that troubled people a lot. They said it was really difficult, and I didn't think it was easy or difficult. I just, because during preparation, I had solved a lot of difficult questions, and my main problem is not difficulty level. My main issue is speed.
Okay.
And you know that thing where you can't move on and move to the next question and you get stuck at the question. I just didn't want to do that, so I kept that in mind and I kept reminding myself. And most of the paper comprised of algebra. I am not great at algebra, but I'm not also very bad. I am comfortable with algebra, so I had no problem, and I ended up solving a good number of questions.
So did you enjoy your prep journey? I mean, if you look back at the prep journey, would you go with that quote that says the journey is equally important, or the journey should be more enjoyable than the destination?
Yes.
What do you say?
I did enjoy. Apart from the stress that comes along with competitive exams, everything else was great.
If you compare it to G, while you were preparing for that, how was this?
In JEE, I think I was not so mature, so I didn't really do the things that you are supposed to do in competitive exams, and like giving mocks and all of that. I worked hard.
You were more in control this time.
I had some experience. I did work hard even then, but also during that time, COVID was there and a lot of things were happening, so I couldn't really focus that much, and it didn't happen for some reason. But this time, this is something that I chose for myself, and I was very determined that I have to do it. I have made this decision for myself and I will stick to it. And I did enjoy the journey a lot. Your class, Ravi sir's class, even he roasts everybody and it's entertaining. Your class is very entertaining. We share pictures and all of that we do. And not just that, even when we are studying, it's I find that very interesting, reading. Also, I developed a really good habit. I started reading books.
You got into the reading habit. That was good.
And now I really love it. At least fiction, I really love reading. And even non-fiction, I think it teaches me a lot. Sometimes when I read good books, I feel like ये क्या पता चल गया, ये तो किसी को नहीं पता होगा. इतनी अच्छी चीज़.
I have heard a lot of students say this, you know, like even this time when the results came and when people started messaging me to inform me about the results. This is one thing that really warms my heart when people say that, okay, besides the preparation, the thing that we got from you was this, you know, love for reading.
Yes.
And I feel happy about it, Nikki, because this love for reading is going to stay with you forever.
Yes.
Tomorrow when you are there as part of an institute and you're going to be like, you know, the polished leader of tomorrow, how can a person not be a good reader and expect to be in that C-suite wala thing some years down the
Yes,
line.
sir.
You have to be a good reader. You have to be well aware of the things that are happening. So hopefully this is going to stay with you. Now there's one debatable point over here that I would like to bring up right now after we are done with all this. See, there's this, there are two schools of thought when we talk about the prep journey.
Yes, ma'am.
One school of thought says that we can prepare on our own completely. Okay, and there's another school of thought that says that you get associated with a study group or a coaching institute or maybe online something or whatever. What do you subscribe to?
I think it's okay, whatever you're comfortable with. I think people who prepare on their own do have some guidance, maybe college seniors, or they know something about the exam, or they know someone who has cracked the exam and they have some advice, they can get some advice. For me, it was not like that. No one around me knew anything about CAT. My uncle has done MBA, but even he has not given CAT.
Right.
So I didn't know anything. So also I believe for me it's very easy if there's an educator and he tells me you have to do this, to do the research on my own. And I thought if we have the facility, why not? If I can afford, why not?
If you can afford it, that's also one important factor. You know, sometimes people do want to prepare with some group or an institute, but the problem is of affordability. Okay, so you feel it's to each his own, right? Okay, good. Now, Nikki, I would like to move on to something different now. We have done a lot of discussion on academics, your prep journey and how you fared in QA, DILR, VARC and all. We are done. Now here at CTwT, we have got this tradition of asking the toppers some rapid fire questions. So are you ready for that? I mean, you can start imagining that you're sitting on the hot seat and Amitabh Bachchan or Karan Johar is here in front of you. Amitabh Bachchan to rapid fire nahi पूछते हैं, Karan Johar, more like it, yeah. So we are going to have this rapid fire round and I'll be asking you a few questions. You don't get time to think.
Okay.
You have to be like totally spontaneous. Let's get on with this if you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so your first question is this. If you had to change your name, what would your new name be and why?
Sanjana, because it's the name that my mother thought and couldn't name me Sanjana, so
You'll go with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question related to anything or anybody in this world, what would that question be?
Is God really there?
Okay, so at present, what are you? Atheist or believer?
I am a believer.
You're a believer, but you would really like to find out,
Yes.
right? Okay, cool. Yeah, even I would like to find out. Okay, over to the next question. What job would you be absolutely horrible at?
God. Painting.
Okay.
I can't paint. I can paint, but I can't draw.
Oh, give me 5 for that. You have seen my drawing in the
Yes,
class,
ma'am.
right? I mean, that is world famous. It can put even Picasso to shame. So, are you equally bad?
Yes, ma'am. A 5-year-old can draw better than me.
Seriously, even I say that. मैं तो क्लास में आपने सुना है ना, मैं कितनी बार कहती थी क्या करती थी मैं ड्राइंग क्लासेस में, मेरे बैक इन स्कूल मेरी ड्राइंग ऐसी कैसी है, right? Okay, cool. So, yes, that answer matches mine. All right. Okay, what is something most people do easily, but you find it difficult?
Road sense, direction. I can pass a road 10 times and still I won't know the directions. I can get lost in my own city.
Seriously?
I'm bad with directions.
Okay, cool. That's something very interesting. Okay, now I'll take you over to the next one. If you had to work, but didn't need money, what would you choose to do? Let's say you are Ambani's child. You don't need the money, but you want to go ahead with work. So what would you choose? Something that would kind of, keep you happy.
Music, something related to music, composing, singing. I learn and I
So
learn.
what, you are inclined towards music?
Yeah, I love listening to music and I don't know how to compose. Matlab, I'd like to learn.
You'd like to learn.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Good. Okay, over to the next one. Would you leave your hometown forever, Ranchi, or stay in your hometown forever?
Leave my hometown forever.
Yeah? So you don't like Ranchi?
No, I come from RB background, so I've always...
You have always traveled and
and
you've been at different places. So, okay, this is not the next question, but let me just ask you. So, if given a choice, which city would you like to move to?
I had a chance to live in Mumbai for 3 years and I love that city, so
Okay.
I will move to
You
Bombay.
will, you would probably move there. Okay, cool. This is an interesting one. Is there an app that you hate and you find useless, but you actually use it anyways? We all do that.
Clock app. I put a lot of alarms, but I never wake
The
up.
snooze thing, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Even I wonder sometimes, why do we put it on snooze? We are not going to wake up anyway, right? So
Never.
why do we do this? And then I put 10 or 15 snoozes, you know. Do you do the same thing?
Yes, ma'am. 10, 15, 10, 20,
Ha,
10, 25.
10, 25, yes. And then we never wake up with that. So what's the use? Actually, you're right, you know, that's a useless one. Okay. Okay. What's something you have tried, but you'll never ever try again?
Good.
Think. But don't think too much. It has to be spontaneous.
What have I tried? Nothing. I
No?
love
Okay.
everything I do.
I'll give you another one. No problem. Okay. When things break,
Yes, ma'am.
do you prefer to fix them or replace them?
Fix them. I get attached with things, so I prefer to
Seriously?
fix them.
So would you apply the same thing to relationships?
Depends. If it's a toxic relationship, I prefer to leave. But if I have a good relationship with someone, my friend or family,
Okay.
I prefer to fix
So you
it.
believe in fixing things. All right, cool. One more interesting one coming up. Okay. What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years?
I am most looking forward to going to a good college in the next 2 years.
Huh.
I am not thinking about the next 10 years, but
Okay.
traveling and being financially independent, that is what.
Be careful, because this question you're going to be asked in the interview. Where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? So you know what you have to do there, right? You have to talk about immediate and then 5 years, 10 years and all. All right,
Yes,
cool.
ma'am.
And I'll give you the last one and we'll wrap it up. What is something interesting that you have learned this year?
This year,
This year, that is 20, you can take 2023 because 24 to abhi start hua hai.
that there's a book, there's a world of books out there that non-readers are not aware of, and it's a great world and it's very interesting.
So you're talking about the love for reading and you have discovered that, and do you intend to stay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
At least with fiction, I intend to stay
Okay.
with it.
I liked your answers very much. Audience, I hope you liked her answers too. Should we give her the hamper? I think we should. She deserves it. Thank you so much for joining us, and you definitely get the hamper. So this is the one. अगर आपको पसंद नहीं है तो you can give it back to me. I'll keep it. No,
I
you
love
want
it.
it. All right, cool, absolutely phenomenal. Okay, Nikki. So how was your experience with CTwT, with the session, sitting here with me and answering these questions? Some like good questions, some crazy questions. How was it for you?
It was a great experience, and I was very excited about meeting you. Finally, I got to meet you, and it was amazing. I think you should do this often.
Okay, and whom would you like to tag? Because we have this tradition over here that if the topper comes here, he tags another topper. So do you have anybody in mind?
So I'll tag Risha Giri. She is a fellow student from Unacademy. I don't know her personally, but I've seen her on the leaderboard a lot of times, and I think she's great.
Risha Giri.
Yes.
Okay, sure. So a shout out to Risha Giri over there. And the last thing, any message that you would like to give to the audience over here?
So be consistent, revise, and pay equal attention to all 3 sections. Don't get good scores in 2 sections, and then if you can't clear the cutoff in the 3rd section, that will be a very bad situation for you. So focus equally on all 3 sections and be motivated. Trust the process, you'll do it.
Okay, so that's related to academics. Any life gyan to the audience?
Just enjoy. Don't take so much stress. If it doesn't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. It's okay. Just enjoy and
Okay,
keep working hard.
that was very sweet. She has given us some important insights into her prep journey. I thoroughly enjoyed my session with her. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to her as well. So thank you so much guys for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care, keep rocking guys, and in the end we all are going to crack it.